I'm just getting a coffee in our kitchen, in our house at Paradise Shores. Hello my friends, and welcome to the second letter from Paradise. Paradise is a wonderful metaphor for God's invitation to live freely and joyfully, away from the old narrative that causes so much striving, restlessness and demand. Paradise is the Garden of Eden before the serpent's lies were believed. And we learn something absolutely incredible about God in the story of human beginnings, but not in a way we might expect. The serpent says to Eve, God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now let me ask you, if you wanted to learn about God, would you enroll in a school run by the serpent? Of course not. And why? Well, you'd probably say to me that you'd hear nothing but a distortion of the truth about God, a mischaracterization of him in every way. After all, isn't the serpent the father of lies? So when the serpent teaches Eve that God knows good and evil, is he telling the truth? Has God secretly been eating the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? True to form, the serpent wants Eve to believe that God knows good and evil. The serpent at all costs doesn't want Eve to learn that God is perfect mercy, that he extends grace indiscriminately, seemingly ignorant as to a person's particular goodness or evil. This serpent is desperate to keep hidden the truth that God is love. For love, as St. Paul told the Corinthians, thinks no evil. And in another place, that the love of Christ surpasses knowledge. It leaves knowledge behind, transcends it, makes it superfluous. The gaze of his furious love and perfect mercy has made good and evil unseeable to him. So you see, my friends, that in this small exchange between the serpent and Eve, we learn something absolutely stunning about God. Imagine if you didn't know good or evil. You couldn't judge or show partiality to anyone. You would have no basis to exclude anyone. Everyone would be in. You would be perfect mercy. This is the stunning good news about God. He is perfect mercy. How can this Father apprehend good and evil when consumed by the blaze of unquenchable love? Nearly 10 years ago, I started reading Paul Young's best-selling book, The Shack. It's an allegory in which Paul Young portrays for us God as perfect mercy. The Trinity is a circle of relentless self-giving love. It was an amazing turning point for me and precipitated a visitation of outpoured love in my life that lasted for several years. Actually, it's still my experience to this day. Well, I've left those apples behind, picked up the shack, and arrived on the deck with one nice cup of coffee. Paradise. Could this metaphor be this simple? That the tree that God wants to keep we humans away from is the one where we're ingesting judgment, partiality, sin consciousness, and exclusion. That God is none of those things. None of those brings freedom of life. None of those is paradise. The tree in paradise that God gives us is called life. It's mercy, not judgment. Sin is not counted there. It's inclusion. This tree is love, and God is love. Can you imagine a world of people who don't know good or evil? Can you imagine a marriage, a community, a church and its preachers, where no one knows good or evil? There is only a tree of life. Who we believe God to be is just so critical in the beginnings of this human journey, at the beginning of our Christian journey. The serpent knew that. And that's why so many of us are on this amazing journey of regaining paradise. Well, until next time, my friends, may you know that God is perfect mercy, love, and grace. May you know that this is all God knows about you. And may you be aware each day of the love that transcends knowledge, pouring into you. Shalom.